Alright, this is better anyway, because this is a much better, we already have people in here, so it's good. I'm just gonna delete the other one. Um, yeah, not gonna lie, I thought that was Mexi, but I'm not exactly a YouTube historian, or a lefty pole historian, so we're gonna watch this. It's about 4 hours long, so go grab your popcorn and settle in. Oh fuck, I don't want to open that. I don't want you people to watch the content that I watch. Alright, we're gonna go to, I believe it's right here. So Zoomer Nation, what's up guy, we're back. We're live streaming, we're boofing, as you can tell. I only run the most professional and well prepared of live streams. We're back. We're gonna be looking at this debate. So Zoomer Nation, YouTuber with like 3,000 subscribers, and I never actually talked to her before, or 2,000. I never actually talked to her before I joined um, Fellow Travelers Discord, but she's actually pretty cool. So, um, we're gonna be listening to her talk to Xanderhal in this debate. And the funniest thing about this, and the reason why I wanted to do this one specifically, was because I get an honorable mention from the person who has been living rent free in my head for months now. The person who I have been fetishizing, who I've made numerous shrines to, is Xanderhal. Okay? The original Destiny clone gamer actually debated Zoomer Nation, and I got mentioned. So I'm beginning to boof. Okay, so
Stealthily or anything, but fairly covertly trying to bread
okay, so we're going.
Vosh because I'm
So we're gonna skip the part. Look guys. I know you came for the part. I know you came for the part. Um, I know you came to listen to Xander's sex life. Okay, I know you people came to listen to Xander's sex life, which is like what the first 40 minutes of this debate about. But we gotta crack down the business. Okay, we can't listen to Xander's sex life for 40 minutes. I don't know about you guys. I can listen to it for 10 hours, but we gotta crack down the business. She, yeah. Zoomer is a she. I've talked to Zoomer Nation before. Okay, let's just quickly go away from there.
straight. I'm not attracted to Vosh, and also Hyena's not my type. I like she's for starters. I don't really find any type of romantic interest in like my friends.
Look, I
Like
know
words.
you people are interested in his romantic and sex life, but
Okay?
we
I want
have
a
to
window
move
here.
on.
I want a window here. And I want to make a bed. Um, yeah, as I was saying, there seems to be like a consistent pattern of Bernie or Busters being in some position of two evils component of. All right, it's time for a debate. We're doing it.
Alright, it's time for a debate, folks. We got 11 people in here. Someone just left. They're going to miss out on the debate of the century. This is the real Peterson debate. Alright, we gotta get started. Let's do
We're
this.
debating Bernie or Bust. Here we go. No blood, okay? No blood, I promise. No blood will happen in this debate.
Hello?
Hey, Zoomer Nation, how you doing?
Oh, I'm pretty good. How about you?
Doing all right. You got a little bit of background noise. Are you using headphones? Or a little bit of
No,
echo?
is it better now?
Yeah, I don't hear myself.
All right, cool.
All right, what do you want to debate about? You're a Bernie or Bust, right?
Oh, so should I start with some comments?
Yeah, sure. Let me turn you off a bit because chat's saying you're quiet. All right, chat. Let me know if they sound good. Okay, yeah. Just hit me up. What you got?
Yeah, so essentially, I'm going to get to like the utilitarian sort of lesser of two evils component of the whole burn your bust debate. But first, I was curious whether or not you think it's productive to like call people that are burn your bust class reductionists or Nazguls, or throw around those terms in like an inflammatory way, because like you want to get them on your side, right? And I feel like some of your rhetoric, towards like fellow traveler when you made that YouTube video, all that rhetoric doesn't really seem conducive to changing their mind on this particular subject matter. So what do you think about that?
Sure. So the problem is, when it comes to Bernie or Busters, I'm convinced that some of these people's minds can't be changed. Not all of them, but some of them. And when it comes to like shaming them or saying that they're class reductionists or Nazguls, I don't think I've ever called Bernie or Busters Nazguls, but I know I've said that some like class reductionist lefties that are like big in favor of accelerationism are probably Bernie or Bust. So I have like accused. I'm pretty sure I've accused at least like one Bernie or Buster of being a class reductionist. I don't know about Nazgul though. Like I'm sure there are Nazguls who are Bernie or Bust, but like the main criticism that I levy at Bernie or Busters is that they are privileged. That seems to be.
So this is already coming off to a roaring start. So basically this started when Xanderhal, intellectual powerhouse, graduate and premier CIA cooperator at the Frankfurt School, came out and made that video about fellow traveler that I talked about a while ago. And basically now he's talking to Zoomer Nation, who basically identifies with the Burning or Bust gang, but he's like Zoomer basically pressed Xander on calling fellow traveler a Nazbol, but he kind of just backs up from that. So just a little bit of context, I guess.
That seems to be the overwhelming thing that is true across every Burn Your Buster I've seen. They're in some position of privilege, at least with most issues, as to where they have the luxury of being able to just opt out of voting.
Oh, sorry, you're cutting off. You're cutting off massively from me.
I think it's on your end because you're cutting out as well. Can you like get closer to whatever source of internet you're using?
Sure, I can try.
Okay.
All right, can you hear me clearly right now?
Yeah, you sound way better. Very good.
Okay.
Yeah, as I was saying, there seems to be like a consistent pattern of Burn Your Busters being in some position of privilege on like most relevant issues that would lead you to vote during the election, right? That or they're just like going off of emotion and they aren't thinking straight. Like they aren't realizing that like Burn Your Bust is just like.
You want to talk about a position of privilege, okay? Martin Luther King came from a very humble background. A lot of leaders come from very humble backgrounds, but I have never seen something more humble than having your RAM slots lit up blue and having a neon RGB flying fan for your computer. This is what the opposite of privilege looks like. This is what it means. And you need to stop drinking out of those water bottles, buddy, because you're making me reach a couple conclusions here. But this is what being humble looks like right here.
In terms of utilitarian behavior, just bad. Yeah, I don't know. I've never called them Nazguls. Is it productive? Maybe not. It depends. Some people like to be. Some people might think straight if they're like, "Hey, what you're doing is stupid." You know, if you sort of like beat them into it.
Keep up the good work.
Thanks, left to Sal. I appreciate it. Like if you beat them into it, that might appeal more to them. But I think most Burn Your Busters have like such an emotional attachment to being Burn Your Bust that they just. I don't think that like any amount of like kid gloves is going to going to change their mind.
There's like a pretty significant, or maybe not significant, but there's a fair contingent of people that are Burn Your Bust. And like, if you really want to build a coalition to some degree or another, you can't have too many people adhering to that ideology. And I think naturally people are less inclined to take someone more seriously when they make an argument. If they're like, I prefer neoliberals over Burn Your Busters and so on and so forth. I think that your discourse can change in its nature so you can appeal more to those people because you have to understand.
Oh no, I don't want to lie. I absolutely do prefer neoliberals to Burn Your Busters at this point. I think that at the very least, if we're talking about every like consequential actions, Burn Your Busters and neoliberals, or like neoliberals are more productive when it comes to like issues than Burn Your Busters. At least they're willing to try and stop Trump.
Well, neoliberals helped create Trump in the first place. I mean,
no, they didn't. This argument that like that neoliberalism created Trump is not true. Trump's election has come along with like a massive boost in fascist populism. I mean, I don't know if you remember 20.
You see, guys, the one polar opposite in the world to fascist populism, okay, is neoliberalism. Think about Henry Ford. Henry Ford was probably the biggest anti-Nazi in the United States. Henry Ford was absolutely opposed to Hitler, okay? Think about all of the industrial capitalists. Think about the new friends of Germany, okay? The friends of New Germany. All we have here are a group of people, a group of I guess you couldn't call them neoliberals technically. We have a group of capitalists that are absolutely opposed to fascism. Xan and leftism today are idiots, but hi, what's up? Oh. Also, Uncle Ho's birthday. Based. Alright, we out here. We move.
16, or if you were politically active back then. I know you're fairly young, I mean, so am I. But, like, back then, like, people were way more about this, like, anti-PC, and Trump ran as, like, the anti-PC candidate. Like, there was just this big, like, right-wing populist push in 2016, like, anti-establishment, that Trump went along with, but also, that came with Bernie. If you want to make the argument that neoliberalism created Trump, it also created Bernie. Bernie was more popular than he was in this election back in 2016.
hang on, but like there's a positive outcome of neoliberalism and a negative outcome of neoliberalism, but you cannot deny that these trade deals, which crushed the middle class states like Michigan, Pennsylvania, so on and so forth, these economic policies that alienated working class people, they definitely to some degree or another played a role in Trump getting elected. He talked about protectionism.
Sure.
He talked about. So I feel like you can't separate neoliberalism from the Trump phenomenon. Like,
don't get me wrong. I don't think it was so much neoliberalism as it was anti-establishment rhetoric, populist rhetoric, that got Trump elected. Sure, I guess you can make the argument that is that actually okay? You can make the argument that fuck, where's my marble melon? Didn't I store it? Okay, sorry, I'm playing a video game right now. And Slothos, thank you for the $20. Says whoop, thank you, I appreciate the $20. I'll get to that in a minute.
Sorry guys, I'm playing a video game right now. I gotta stop the stream. I need to play a video game. Sorry guys, I gotta play a video game. Sorry guys, the stream's over. I gotta play a video game. Sorry. Stream's over. I gotta play a video game. I don't have time to discuss American issues. It's going good, Harold. We're talking about this debate between Xander and Zoomer.
Yeah, no. I think it was more anti-establishment rhetoric than like anti-neoliberal rhetoric. I know in like the Rust Belt and whatnot, protectionism is really popular. I mean, if you really want to go down the road and whether or not protectionism is a good thing, it's really not. Bringing jobs back to America is stupid. But I get what you're saying, though, that, like, Rust Belt people that don't know that protectionism is stupid might have seen Trump being like, we're going to bring the jobs back here, might have, like, thought that that was, like, good rhetoric.
Wait, what is his argument against protectionism? He has an argument against protectionism? I mean, protectionism is, like, the trump card to imperialism. How could you want global capital so bad as Xander? Like, it really boggles my mind. I mean, this is the guy who said that the system is good because we have cheap phones. Like, literally a Sargon argument.
Rick, but that's not... I don't think it was so much the protect... Like, that's still a pretty small contingent of voters.
So 2 points to make, really quick, if you don't mind. So first of all, I'd say that the establishment is neoliberal to a large degree in its nature. So when you're anti-establishment, it's not like mutually exclusive with neoliberalism. And second,
look at that face right there. The establishment is neoliberal. Look at that face. Honestly, this is the lowest hanging fruit. This is the lowest hanging fruit. This is like... This is Vosh, but without the years of experience of being alive and being an adult. I mean, this guy can't even rent a car. But
of all, you can oppose NAFTA and these terrible trade deals on neoliberal side, and also oppose protectionism and tariffs and stuff like that. But you can clearly observe how neoliberalism helped create that phenomenon, right? Like
I don't think the establishment is neoliberal. That would be a hard pill for me to swallow. Especially right now. I mean, the president is like a fascist, or at least depending on how loosely you want to use the word, I think he's a fascist. I think we can all agree crypto-fash. I mean, most of his administration are fascists. There's like literal neo-Nazis that he's appointed into his administration. I think when the main issue...
See, Trump is a fascist, but Joseph Biden is a chaplain of the school of communist thought. This is the thought process behind... I should try to talk to Zoomer Nation again. Trans Campuchia when. Literally, Trans Campuchia.
That people have is with the Democratic establishment, like, you know, your Hillary Clintons and whatnot. And there, I think you probably have a better point, but I don't think right-wing, like, Southern Rust Belt voters are like voting for Trump because the DNC is too establishment.
Well, hang on, but like before Trump, there was 8 years of Obama, and many of those states like Pennsylvania, Michigan, so on and so forth, voted for the Democrat. But it seems as though prior to Trump, there was this phenomenon of neoliberal politics, free trade agreements pushing for the Trans-Pacific Partnership, many workers struggling, being alienated, you know, foreign investments going into wars and stuff like that. I feel as though that is.
And I'm actually extremely impressed with what Zoomer knows for her age. Like, being 17 and knowing all of this stuff is pretty impressive. And then you have this 20-year-old who's 3 years older who doesn't know what neoliberalism means. I don't think the establishment is neoliberal. What the fuck is generalized commodity production? I think you should get out of here with your tanky terms.
The one component to the Trump phenomenon, because alienation helps create fascism. This is a historical fact. It happened with Hitler. It happened with all of these various.
I understand that, and that's definitely part of it. Fascism always takes hold of like an alienated group of people that feel like they don't have any other outlet to vent their frustration or to find solutions to their problems. But I don't think you realize that the average voter in America, for them, politics is every 4 years. like we go and we vote, like, and that's it. And they find the guy who is like the cult of personality, or maybe if they're like more politically inclined, the political opinions that they most agree with, they vote and then they're done with it. I don't think most people, I'm sorry, but most people, I just don't buy that most people even know about NAFTA or any of these trade agreements. Like the average American, especially out like the Rust Belt, with like I don't think they have any idea what these things are. This is like a term.
The average American at the Rust Belt literally has no idea what NAFTA is. The average American at the Rust Belt has no idea what NAFTA is. So when the average American in the Rust Belt showed up one morning, went to his factory, was handed a pink slip, and then he finds out 2 weeks later that his factory is in Mexico, and the Mexican workers are getting paid $2 a day, compared to him, where he had, maybe a health insurance plan through his employer, maybe he had a stable wage. I mean, just look at look at what Americans were doing before NAFTA. They were all, you could go and get a factory job and live a comfortable life. But no, I mean, the Rust Belt, of all places, does not know what NAFTA is. Isn't voting, what's up, Jonathan? Isn't voting every 4 years Lil Xan's position? No. We vote every 4 years, and then we organize the Vanguard Party in Subnautica, okay? You're clearly not well read here.
Permanently online political like problem.
Wait, but like I don't think it's a primarily online problem, because like what 6 million people lost their jobs due to these trade agreements. So you have to understand that there's a specific discernible reality. You know, Trump had this extra excitement with him that we very seldom noticed since like Obama in 2008, and that's the frustration, that's a venting, that's a passion against the establishment system that's foundational to why Trump was created in the first place. Like he vented against these establishment figures. So I think our disagreement is fundamentally, I think you underestimate how much Americans are affected by these issues and how much they care.
Well, wait. I don't underestimate how much they're affected. I underestimate, or I don't think I underestimate it. I don't think they care as much, not because they wouldn't care if they knew what it was, but because they just don't they don't, like, they're not very politically affected, right? Most people in America, they don't really care about these trade agreements. You said 6 million people lost their job from these things that under Obama, but like that's 6 million people in a country of like what, 300 million?
It's only a little 6 million people, okay? It's only a little massive population. It's only a little massive geographical portion of the US that is now rusting, you know. It's only the future generations that are going to grow up selling crack and shooting each other instead of working in a factory. Effective harm reduction. Let me tell you something. Let me tell you what harm reduction is. Harm reduction is transgender, black, gay, furry, Kampuchea. That's what harm reduction is. And if you're against it, then you are literally a underwater commune.
Like, or 200 million, like that's still a very small amount of people comparatively.
You have to understand that it was like what 70,000 votes in the Rust Belt that essentially gave the election to Trump. Like it was the Rust Belt states, many of them primarily, that swung the election. So it might seem insignificant or minuscule.
Yeah, but even in the Rust Belt, states, I don't think it was like this anti-established. Like I think the main issue was that Hillary was such an unpopular candidate. She still won the popular vote, but Hillary was like such a bad candidate, and there was so much shit, that like drama that was surrounding her, that it basically like cemented in place that she was not going to be able to win that election with a lot of voters because of the whole like Benghazi and the emails and all of that. I just don't think that that Hillary stood much of a chance, because not only did we have this massive explosion in right-wing populist rhetoric with like the anti-establishment shit, not necessarily anti-left establishment, just even anti-conservative establishment. That's why you had like a lot of never Trump Republicans in 2016. Now they've sort of fallen in line because that's what conservatives do. But like back then, like being never Trump as a conservative was still like during the general or the primary election for the Republicans, like being a never Trumper was fairly like there were never Trump Republicans around. Like that was a thing. They didn't like how he spoke. They didn't like his policies. They thought he was a buffoon. But once they managed to come together, and when he became the nominee, realized that they thought he was better than Hillary, they came together and they got Trump elected.
Right. So establishment, but primarily.
I guess you can say they voted red no matter who. But don't you think that the spread of global capital accelerates the decline of capitalism? Didn't Marx support free trade for that? I mean, it definitely advances capitalism, but I don't think it accelerates the decline. I mean, even if you have, like, you know, pre-scramble for Africa, Marxist society, you're still going to have those insane collapses that happen. Like, even before imperialism, you had massive collapses. 6 million people is no big deal. It's just 6 million people, and their families, and their future generations. I mean, has this guy never seen abandoned factories. And you can tell I boof because I can't type. Who cares? See, this is what American exceptionalism looks like. Who cares about NAFTA? Literally there are literally entire neighborhoods in Detroit that used to look as if they were in San Francisco in some prime real estate. Like, you watch some of these videos of these gangbangers in Detroit, and they're standing in front of like these fancy, fancy houses that look beautiful, and now they're all worn down. And I really can't begin to put my finger on why. I really can't begin to understand why. To be fair, the market traffic is going to happen anyway due to capitalism. Trump didn't get more votes than Romney. Clinton got way less than Obama. Harm reduction is vote shaming minorities into voting for politicians who have shunned said minorities. I mean, Libyan warmonger versus Iranian general bomber. This is what we need, folks.
What establishment force was that? We had 8 years of Obama prior to Trump, so it was primarily the neoliberal establishment. The Bill
yeah,
Clinton
I mean, because by definition, yeah, go ahead, yeah.
Yeah, so Hillary Clinton was a very particularly bad candidate, but there's no denying that many of her policy beliefs were very unpopular with American people, and she did represent this sort of milquetoast status quo that drove a lot of people nuts. They found her to be very unlikable. That is one component, the likability, but there's many other factors that are in play here, I'd say.
Maybe. Hold on a second. Titanium, need some lithium. Yeah, sorry, I'm playing some Monaco while we talk. Yeah, no, I definitely think that a lot of, like, so for example, I remember hearing Shuan Head say this. Back in 2016, a lot of people turned to, like, the pro-Trump, like...
Also, I'm not exactly a historian. I didn't graduate with a PhD in social studies and political science from the School of BreadTube Thought. I'm not exactly sure who this Shuan Head person is. Who is this person? I know she's female. Let's take a little adventure. Okay. So I think we can see that we're stumbling across some dangerous territories. Okay, this is why the CIA funded little three-man splinter third camp Trotskyist groups, was to prevent some hard-hitting theory like this. No, but I really don't know who this person is. She's a YouTuber, she's a Canadian, I have a history degree. Did you see Vosh fight Mexi on his stream today? I thought that was Mexi and I started streaming and everyone told me it wasn't Mexi, so I had to stop. Basically is how it went down. Okay.
Right-wing shit because they thought they were angry at the left. In reality, they were angry at neoliberalism. They were angry at this, like, establishment, do-nothing, sort of, like, milquetoast liberalism. And I completely agree with that. The problem is, I don't think that is mostly what is to blame for Trump getting elected. I think it's because right-wing populism had exploded in America in 2016. Like, I don't think... I know you weren't politically, like, active back then, but
I was very
think, like,
active.
How old are you?
I'm, like, 17.
You probably...
You know what's the funniest thing is Xander would have only been 3 years older than Zoomer when he says this, but...
weren't, like, politically active in spaces back in 2016 where you would have been able to, like, observe this, but, like, conservative populist rhetoric was overwhelmingly popular back then. It was getting really, really big back then. I don't know, like, how I can, like... Maybe I can, like, send you some videos of, like, the kind of things that were happening back then, but I just remember, like, quotes from, like, Trump supporters saying, I like Trump, he says it how it is, he's gonna stick it to Hillary, clit ring, or whatever. Like, I don't think it was mostly based out of, like, I don't think Obama was the reason for Trump.
Okay, so the right-wing populism fundamentally cannot be separated within neoliberalism. Like, these aren't totally mutually exclusive. Like, they have ties. There's consequences of neoliberalism that lead to this right-wing populism. Like, for example, if we were in a social democratic country, or even a socialist country where people have less alienation, there was less need to scapegoat and fearmonger about immigrants, and there's less of these comparable material conditions, do you really think Trump would have the same chance that he has today? Do you honestly think that Trump would get elected in 2016 if the circumstances fundamentally shifted and were different?
Isn't there, like, I heard there was, like, a fascist, like, takeover happening in, like, Poland. Aren't things in Poland, like, pretty good? Like, don't they have, like, a pretty, Hold on, let me actually look into this, because I only heard this, so I'm kind of interested.
Poland is actually one of the poorest countries in the Eastern Bloc, or at least compared to Norway, Sweden, Denmark. It's actually relatively poor compared to many European economies.
Yeah, so from what I've heard, like fascism is like kind of a popular ideology in Poland, like nationalism and whatnot. But I'm pretty sure Poland is still like at least the people there are still doing better than like the average person here in America.
You've heard it here, folks. Poland. 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 Population 37 million. GDP per capita $15,000. Poland is the real bastion of paradise. When the book Utopia was written, it was absolutely about Polish society. $15,000 GDP per capita. This is the intellectual prowess that we're dealing with here, folks. This is the person that I'm daring myself to take on. Harm reduction equals damage control equals cope, seethe, dilate. I don't really agree. Your dilate comment is pretty cringe. You might want to head over to the Nosbowl section. 2013, 2016 was the era anti-SJW reactionary videos flooding YouTube's algorithm. I honestly just couldn't get enough of this. I mean, isn't Sargon like still doing that? All right, we're at 26 minutes. We're good.
Like, do they have like nationalized healthcare? Do they have
yes,
like?
but their poverty rate is at 17%, so their economy is still really in bad shape. They haven't really implemented social democracy to the same extent as most European countries.
Oh, okay, but okay, this is the issue though. Or the poverty line here in America. Okay, are we talking about the poverty line set by Poland or the poverty line set by America? Because America's poverty line,
no,
where we draw the line of poverty here in America, is really fucking high.
It's the world. Yeah, it's the world
poverty line.
So it's like universally.
Okay. Yeah, maybe. Wait, hold on. Here's a good overview. I already looked at it.
And by the way, the World Bank poverty line is pretty BS because they continually change the goalposts to try to limit the effect of China. But Poland is absolutely not better than the United States. What's up, Darth? Poland, Ukraine, and Hungary are all super fascist right now. Hungary is basically almost a third world country. Sargon of Akkad, line of UKIP. I mean, it's really sad what's happened to Hungary. Hungary especially. Why is Lil Xan getting so emotional on this? We'll have to see.
Yeah, I know. Far-right politics getting big in Poland. Like, yeah, obviously, like, fascism rises up usually when the people are really discontent with the status quo, and I don't disagree with that, but I don't think that's, like, Obama's fault. Like, Obama, like, obviously was pretty bad, you know, drone strikes, all fucking trade agreements, all that. I mean, I agree with that. The problem is, I don't think that's, like the solution to that is just, like, saying, alright, we're gonna bite the bullet, no more neoliberalism, let's just have fascism. Like, I don't really agree with that.
Sorry,
Sorry, what? Oh, you're cutting out. Give it a second. I think it's from your end. I've got like no drop frames in my stream, so I don't think.
I think it's better. All right, I think it's better.
Yeah, it sounds a little better.
Okay. So what were your points? Could you like re-summarize real quick?
Sure. I think that Trump's election can be attributed mostly to a explosion in right-wing populism that happened in 2016, alongside a minor discontent. Or discontent. Yeah, I don't think Obama is to blame for Trump.
So Obama literally admitted that he wants to play ball with the Republicans. He said that there's not a big difference between the Democrats and the Republicans. I want to get along. That mindset, you know, the more establishment-leaning, you know, that creates conditions that are less beneficial to working people because both parties, although there's a difference, you know, between the Democrats and Republicans, both parties have Wall Street corporate interests, and so you're less likely to implement the policies that people want, which then creates the material conditions that lead to Trump. Like, do you understand like the process here, like how one can lead to the other?
Yeah, I mean, I don't disagree that, like, the neoliberal establishment isn't helping things, and neoliberalism and capitalism are failing the people, and at that point, it's either socialism or barbarism, or socialism or fascism, but the problem is, you're using this line of, this is what I take issue with, you're saying true statements now, that a lot of people are disillusioned by, like, Obama and neoliberalism, and I completely agree with that, but you're using
I'm gonna move somewhere where the Wi-Fi is better.
Okay.
Alright.
Just let me know when you're good.
You're totally.
You like Destiny or Vosh more? I honestly respect Destiny more as a person than Vosh, because Destiny is definitely a lot more humble. Yeah, Destiny definitely is the original. I mean, good for Destiny, honestly. Like, good for him. Um, he's at least honest about being a lib. Yeah, he's a lot more humble. I mean, even if he is funded by the Koch brothers, um, I at least respect him a lot more as a person, honestly.
Are we good?
Could you? I didn't hear a word you said. Could you repeat? Because
Are,
now I moved to a better place, I think.
are we good? I think you sound a lot better, so I think you can probably hear me better.
All right.
Okay.
Could you repeat what you said?
Okay. The issue that I take, like, you're saying true statements right now, like that a lot of people feel like neoliberalism has failed them, that like the neoliberal establishment isn't good for them, and I completely agree with all of that. The problem is you're going down this line of dialogue to lead up to, and thus we should allow Trump to stay in office or not vote for Biden, because Biden might lead to furthering the material conditions that led to Trump by your
No.
logic.
That's actually not quite the argument I'd make. But the original argument was like whether or not we should empathize with Bernie or Busters. Like, I think that's what led to this whole thing. And
I
I
mean,
said, like,
I empathize with them, but I think they're fucking stupid. I completely agree. Like, don't get me wrong. Every time I fucking talk to my neoliberal mom on the phone, and she's like, "Oh, Bernie is a rapist," and blah blah blah, and we need a woman in the White House. Hillary Clinton would have been way better. Like, I completely understand it. And I want to become Bernie or bust, but then I realize that minorities are going to suffer. I don't care about like your emotional attachment to this issue if you're willing to like fuck over minorities because you're so like principally opposed to voting for the lesser
right.
evil.
So,
See, a lot of people don't realize this, but Trump, I'll just say it again for those of you who aren't aware, he instituted the transgender, gay, black, brown, disabled, furry, anime, weeb, uh, neurodivergent removal act of 2016, and it's gotta be stopped. It's gotta be stopped. Nazbol is a lefty pull meme gone wrong. Hassan is abysmal at arguing points. I honestly haven't seen much of Hassan Piker, but yeah, I mean, he should pretty much be like he's pretty much like a Chain clone, but just a little bit more progressive. It's funny, I wonder if Xanderhal actually knows that the Nazbol party in Russia is banned, and they actually proclaim themselves as anti-fascist and anti-racist, not defending Nazbols, but um, yeah, the Nazbol party in Russia isn't um what the name Nazbol is usually associated with. All right. I love the non-minority lecturing to minorities that they're privileged. You know what I really love is when Xanderhal has to lecture Zoomer, who's a trans person, on what trans people need. That's what I really love. I mean, I don't want to get too Ed Poley on a soapbox here, but I think to a certain extent, certain groups can represent themselves. I mean, could you imagine if the Black Panthers just went out and like had a bunch of white people come out and speak for them? Does he not know Joe Biden's records? Poor transsexuals can do. Poor transgenders can't die for Israel now.
I think that there's so, like, the reason I brought up NAFTA and all that is because, like, there's so much hurt and loss that I think to process the idea of voting for Biden, you need to have more discourse that's productive than,
Bernie or busters aren't like typically in my interaction with them very. Sorry, can I interrupt really quick? In every interaction I've had.
Not vote. Like, you want to get to the.
Wait, you're cutting out like crazy.
Oh, I said, do you want to like get to like the utilitarian lesser of two evils part of this conversation?
Yeah, I'd like to. Yeah.
All right. So the argument I would make is that, you know, you brought up how the neoliberal conditions help create Trump. Like, that's the argument many like Bernie or busters make. I'd say that yes, the neoliberal conditions help create Trump, but the question is, do we repeat that, or do we take the path of totally burning down the neoliberal establishment and replacing it with something better that can actually defeat fascism? Because Trump is a proto-fascist. He opened the doorway for way worse people to take power and take control. And so the question is, what are we going to do? Are we going to allow Biden to, you know, get the nomination and continue 8 years of neoliberal legacy policy, or are we going to burn that down and try to create a new left out of that by refusing to cater to the interests of the Democratic establishment?
All right, here we go. Guess what? We're not going to be able to burn down the Democratic establishment by just not voting for them. They aren't going to be like, oh no, the most left-leaning people in the country aren't voting. Oh man, I guess we just don't have to do anything for another 4 years and virtue signal about how bad the Republicans are and we get to look really good. That's not going to do anything. By not voting, we're not going to be able to burn down the Democratic establishment. The best thing that we can do is try to infiltrate the Democratic establishment from within and tear it, and I guess you could say tear it down from within, but cause massive reform from within. We've got people like AOC, we've got people like Bernie Sanders. We just need to have more people that are like leftists be getting
The squad, AOC, the squad.
into politics. I think probably the best example of this is Dylan Burns. He's currently a foreign policy advisor. He's trying to work his way into government. Doing things like this, having actual leftists that are very far left and progressive, getting into the DNC, getting into the Democratic Party, is what's going to cause better change. We don't have the leverage. We don't have the power to burn down the Democratic establishment. I hear that language from Bernie Busters all the time. It's literally impossible. It's never going to happen.
So when I say that burn down the Democratic establishment, I still don't mean like the entire Democratic Party. I mean like the establishment, in the sense that the establishment contingent of the dress.
Wait, you're cutting out. I can't hear you. You're cutting out. Tweppy is a sock dem? I know he's a sock dem, but he's like ridiculously far left compared to most of the Democratic Party.
Alright, can you hear me now?
Yeah, I hear you better now. You're good.
Okay, so when I say burn down the Democratic establishment, I don't literally burn down the Democratic Party. I mean like the establishment contingent of the party. You know, like the LARPing, like, oh, bring out your rifle.
Bernie already tried LMAO, the squad capitulated. This is just like what the Gonzaloists talk about. Okay, when Gonzalo went to prison and the Shining Path capitulated, what we need to do is to make 1,000 copies of Bernie Sanders and then elect them all into the presidency. And that's what communism is. The squad supported Democrats' policies. The DNC's immune system is too effective against insurgent candidates. I mean, come on, we literally had like one of the most popular, I guess you could say, populist candidates with Bernie, of all time. I mean, even look at like FDR. Like, FDR was very, very aligned with a lot of the left because he didn't want to get kicked out of office. Like, FDR sent in the military to point guns at away from protesters instead of towards strikers, etc. And look at where we are now. Like, look at the stuff that FDR talked about. We don't even have what FDR talked about. We don't even have labor programs. Like, does Zan not know that most shitlibs only care about the Democrats occupying a government position? I wouldn't be surprised if Biden winning silences the left once again, like Obama's id poll presidency did. Clearly what we need are more concentration camps for the gay Mexicans to get married in, or less concentration camps.
And, you know, get rid of the Democratic establishment. But, so, argument, because I do really care.
Oh wait, you're lagging out again. Are you on a phone right now?
Yeah.
Oh, that might be it. Do you have a computer?
Yeah, but it doesn't have a mic.
Oh, okay. All right, yeah. I guess we'll try to work with what you got. Yeah, no, sorry. So how would this be done? How would you like burn down the Democratic establishment as you word it? Because like my opinion of what we have to do. Let me actually just give you my rundown of what I want to happen. What I think is like the only way we can like effectively move forward from here. Try to keep a Republican out of the White House as much as possible. You have to vote blue no matter who to keep right-wingers out of the White House. But from there, we infiltrate the DNC by encouraging leftists to get into American politics. And obviously around the world too, but we're talking specifically about America here, obviously. Trying to get leftists to get into politics, and particularly to get into the DNC. And that bullshit that Joshua for Congress pulled, where he said he was going to run as a Democrat, and then he made his own party, pretty much cementing the fact that he was going.
Could you imagine if Andrew Jackson like came back to life and ran as president? Would Xander vote blue no matter who? Could you imagine if Bill Clinton ran for president again? Would he vote blue no matter who? I mean, sanctioning the genocide of East Timorian people sounds like a vote blue no matter who take. Xanderhal is literally a carbon copy of Vosh. Alright, I gotta piss. But this time I'm gonna be smart about it, and I'm gonna have some music playing.
You are really threatening their ability and viability in a general election, and you're enabling more progressive contingent of the left to take power from them.
Okay, the DNC, like the neoliberal boomers, don't give a shit about the Democrats winning. They don't care. What do they gain from a Democrat being in power? They're all fucking millionaires. They're even like them and the Republicans are friends at the end of the day. They all go to each other's fucking cocktail parties in their mansions. It's not like some what's West Wing sitcom bullshit where like the Democrats actually care about winning and getting their policy passed. There's a very small amount of them within the DNC that actually care about the president, a Democrat becoming president. If a Republican is president, they don't have to do anything, and they get to virtue signal about how great they are for 4 years.
So there's definitely a difference between progressive and conservative capitalists. Just because you're a capitalist doesn't mean that you live in this sort of primordial matrix-like vacuum. Okay, there's definitely capitalists that contribute to the DNC, and there's capitalists that contribute to the RNC. But at the end of the day, if you just join the DNC, all you're doing is I noticed that in one of your other streams you said shoegaze was one of your favorite movie genres. I like Slow Dive, My Bloody Valentine, and Ripe. What are some other good bands in the genre? I like some of the newer shoegaze stuff, but you pretty much described what I listen to in terms of shoegaze. I really, really like Slow Dive. Um, I mean, I would listen to this guy called Tennis System. That's about it. Anyway, let's move
I
on.
don't think they really care about
Well,
not having people vote. They care about their best interest being being what's the word, preserved. Hey, Vermin.
hate Trump. Like, don't you
Sorry,
think Democrats?
wait, you cut out. What'd you say?
Don't you think Democrats genuinely hate Trump?
Some of them do. Wait, give me a second. What the fuck is happening? Hold on.
I think this would be smoother if we moved to a voice chat or something.
Sorry, I'm playing Subnautica and something weird story-wise happened.
Okay.
Yeah, sorry. Sorry, say that again. What were you saying?
Literally a
Oh, I
mad
said,
child.
do you really think the Democratic establishment doesn't hate Trump and doesn't want him out of office?
So when we talk about the Democratic establishment, we're talking about a collection of people. I think most Democrats love to virtue signal about how bad Trump is because he's like, oh, look how rude he is. Look how, oh, he's an orange man bad. You know, yada, yada, yada. We all know this. But in general, the Democratic establishment isn't really hurt by Trump. I mean, this has, like, helped them a shit ton. Like, Trump being this bad of a president has, like, done nothing but benefit them to this point.
Well, they fundamentally they believe in subscribing to neoliberal ideology, so they fundamentally don't agree with Trump. And obviously, the Democrats want power, right? So why would
Okay,
they want the Republicans to take their seats? Why would they want the Republicans to defeat them in Congress and the House of Representatives and so forth?
Well, because they don't. Wait, I don't think neoliberal ideology and like the ideology of your average Republican are all that different. I feel like you would agree with this.
To some degree or another, yes, but what Trump ideologically represents delineates from standard stereotypical neoliberal principles and policy.
Yeah, he's too mean. He's too rude. He's too loud about his beliefs.
No, that's
Like
not
most of
it.
the complaints you see from oh shit, I have to make radiation suit. Most of the complaints I see from
I can't pause the game, Mom. Like, at least Destiny will pause the game and give some respect to the person he's talking to. People are talking about, is this it? Is this what Fred Hampton was murdered for? Is this what Huey P. Newton was shot on the street for? Is this it? Everything Xanderhal is saying is what I would expect to hear from the Young Turks. Actually, even the Young Turks is more progressive than Xanderhal since they are burn your bust. Well, I'm glad that the Young Turks are at least burn your bust. Oh my god.
fucking like Democrat establishment about Trump is like, oh, he's too rude, he's too mean, he's too loud. We need to go back to
but
normalcy.
they take this personal petty politics very seriously. Like to them, you know, these things about he said shit whole country and so forth. That's really serious to the Democratic establishment because they're so out of touch.
Well, they're not. They don't actually care. They're just virtue signaling about it because they know there's people that are progressive in America they can appeal to. The Democratic Party does rely on appealing to. This is what you actually want to wager here. The fact that the Democratic Party, if it wants to win, the people within the Democratic Party, they have an.
So AOC, who was elected by a bunch of hipsters in New York, has absolutely no interest in collaborating and becoming a higher politician. But the already well-established politicians do. Zan, the PPP were tankies, so they matter less than the deaths from the Iraq War. I mean, they were just stupid tankies, like free breakfast program. It's literally fascism. Well, I say our, but I mean white liberals.
Interest in appealing to progressive voters. That's what you actually want to try to fight for.
Well, I'd argue that the Democratic Party and the establishment does care about petty and significant issues because they're out of touch with marginalized communities, and they take Trump seriously. Like, they take Trump's problems very seriously. Like, they think it's a huge issue, his rhetoric, the fact that he's taking the mask off of the military-industrial complex. These things might seem trivial or superficial to us, but they genuinely want power. They want to get rid of this guy, and they don't want to lose to the Republican Party. Are you kidding me? Power is one of the driving forces of politics.
Mm-hmm. The problem is, what do you think the best interest of most people that are like in the Democratic Party is? I'm actually just curious. Like, what do you think is in the best interest of them in terms of policy?
I think that they just want to win. That's simple as that.
Why would they want to win? Like I'm actually curious. Why would they want to win?
Washington and represent their specific.
Wait, you're cutting out again.
Hold on, my friend debated Vosh on labor theory of value and historical materialism. Vosh claimed that the value created by labor is unfalsifiable and has no empirical basis. Did you see it? Would it be cool if you reacted? Yeah, I actually did react to it already. You can watch it. It's like 30 minutes long. Have you seen the new Jimmy Dore video posing the question, should America be more like China? I haven't. Didn't some like dangoid go on Jimmy Dore show and like talk about China, and then like everyone in Jimmy Dore's audience was like super was like super offended. Yeah, China shill on Jimmy Dore.
Hello?
Oh, hello.
Yeah. Do you think they would have nominated Biden if they wanted to win?
I think that many of them think Biden.
Well, I mean, the polls are out. Bernie beats Trump. Biden is on beating Trump. I mean, they have the numbers at their disposal. Do you think they're just like stupid?
Wait, Biden is on beating Trump? Didn't Biden constantly talk about how he was the I mean, isn't Biden like the polling candidate in terms of beating Trump? Wasn't that like a talking point he made?
Well, Biden is winning in many polls, so
He's
I
doing
can
pretty
see
well right now,
why
but Hillary
they
did pretty
think
well as
that
well.
Biden- What?
Bernie wins against Trump way more consistently than Biden does in all the polling that I've seen.
Really, from aggregate polling, so far, like having similar or if not better aggregate polling numbers.
From the polling I've seen, it seemed like Bernie does better.
Really, I'm gonna have to take a look at that then, because here's the thing. Like I said, there's two components. They want power and they want to preserve their corporate interests. So Biden reconciles both components of the corporate establishment, the Democratic establishment, more so than Bernie does.
Well, yeah, because Biden, like if Biden becomes president, he is.
Nick Fuentes based. I mean, I think the dude needs to come out of the closet already, if I'm being completely honest, because I've seen some very incriminating pictures of him. I don't think he belongs in the right crowd for the way he swings. Biden is running for Senate. The other Biden is running for president.
Is more likely to establish policy that is in their best interest than Bernie is. Bernie, you know, obviously he's. I don't think very many millionaires want Bernie to be president.
Yeah. Sorry, I
do you
only
think
like bits and pieces of what you're saying.
Okay, do you think that like the Democratic establishment, TM, you know, like I mean, we're talking about like a cluster, like a massive grouping of people. Do you think they care more about preserving their best interests? Like, okay, I actually have a question. Do you think they would prefer Trump, 4 more years of Trump, over potentially 8 years of Bernie?
Hang on, 4 years of Trump versus 8 years of Biden? Is that what you said?
No. Do you think that the DNC would prefer 4 more years of Trump over 4 years of Bernie? Or God forbid, 8 years of Bernie for them?
Okay, sorry. Like, can we move to like a voice chat or something? Because like I can't really get a lot of what you're saying.
Yeah, sure. We can just go into the Q chat in my server.
Like it's like bits and pieces.
Yeah,
like,
just go to Q chat in my server. I'll pull you in. Oh God. Why don't people have the fucking Xander will forever be remembered as a liberal, the white moderate stuff.
Ugh. These stupid plebeians who dare to join my holy. These stupid plebs. Why do these stupid plebs join? Why can't they have 500,000 terabyte internet per second internet that my mom pays for, like me? Ugh. Why are people poor? Why do poor people have bad internet? Ugh. It's disgusting. I can't believe it. I'm never voting or supporting a return to normalcy, as Biden put it, or America's already great politics. I think you're just a class reductionist, honestly. I think you're just a red fascist. Xanderhal's legit called Bernie or Bust people subhuman.
Built by real rebels like Martin. Shut the fuck up. Oh, you're a fellow traveler, actually. Wait, Zoomer Nation isn't in the server? Wait, you're not... Oh wait, the Bernie or Buster guy looks like Trainwrecks TV is in chat. I'm sorry, fellow traveler, but if you think I'm a liberal, then I've got bad news for you, bud. I've got real bad news for you. I just want minorities to not suffer. Is that too much to ask? Do you support deplatforming Nazis? Yeah.
And liberals do not care about if minorities suffer, by the way.
That's why I encourage people to spam report them, because all Nazis break TOS no matter how sly they are, and if they get mass reported enough, they'll get banned. So yeah, obviously I do. Wait, you're not in my server?
Oh yeah, this is funny, by the way. He's gonna figure out that I'm in the chat, and I'm boofing in his chat, and he's gonna get a little bit offended. He's gonna call on his YouTube moderator to try to censor me, which is what all intellectuals do, is practice censorship and stonewalling. But fortunately, he's not gonna be very successful.
Hello? She hasn't talked to Sargon like forever eaters. I literally hear nothing on your end. Okay. Hey, Zoomer Nation, if you're watching the stream right now, please just
Look at this. Look at that.
Not just go to there's a link. Chud Logic, there's a link to join my Discord server in the description of every video and every stream I've ever done or uploaded. You can just click on the link there. Why can't people have computers? Thanks. Okay.
Wait, what did he just say? Oh, why can't I have nice things? I thought he said something about computer specs.
Message me when you're in my Discord. Zoomer Nation. More like Boomer Nation. Logic is in your server, what? Yeah, that's true. Listen. Never mind, I was gonna make an edgy joke that probably would have been a bad idea. Did the coronavirus outbreak outline the importance of social safety net exposed conservative hypocrisy? Maybe. I don't know. Every single conservative I've seen is defending Trump's actions and Republicans' actions during this pandemic. Prepare your...
Yeah, it's called like Vosh and the Labor Theory of Value or something. Go watch it. Cause the other guy, the guy who I think you're talking about, your friend, is actually fairly familiar with economics, which is good. So he should probably go watch that. I mean, pretty much pro-trans as long as trans people kiss his ass, basically. I mean, if you're not one of them, you're just the
Simon, that's what I just did. Okay, we need a radiation suit so we can go to that ship and fucking take everything that has.
Alright, I know you people want to see professional gaming happen here, but call on Zan for a debate or drag him for being a homophobe. If he That's actually a good idea. Oh, he actually calls me retarded in the stream, by the way. Like he calls me retarded. Um so that just shows how accepting of accepting Xander is to neurodivergent people, calling people retarded. Yeah, honestly, if he doesn't, then I'll just pull the homophobia card.
Problem there is, I don't think that depriving them of being in power is going to hurt them. Like, it really doesn't harm them anyway. They don't really have any reasons to care.
Well, hang on. They still don't ideologically align with Trump.
Sure, they don't
right?
ideologically align, but like we're talking about the Democratic establishment, not individuals in the Democratic Party.
There's Trump. Like, they don't want the Democrats in the Senate and the House of Representatives to lose their seats because power is still a fundamental element of politics. So they don't want to enable the Republicans because they are the ones who want to preserve.
Fuck, I can't wear my rebreather with the radiation suit? It's fucking terrible. No, I don't disagree that power is a big part of politics, but like for the so the Democratic Party as a whole is made up by individuals. I understand some of those individuals ideologically disagree with Trump. And don't get me wrong, they do ideologically disagree. But if we're talking about let me that real fast. Wait, make sure to bring a repair tool and a stasis rifle to the Aurora. I know I need a laser cutter. Can I make a laser cutter? You know, I think you're overestimating how badly the Democrats
He loves the R slur.
want to be in power.
Hilarious.
They'll take another 4 more years of Trump. It's not going to hurt them. I can't make a laser cutter. Fuck. I don't have the recipe for a laser cutter, chat. Yeah, Zoomer, do you want to like reschedule this for another time? Because you're cutting.
These are the type of people who will try to cancel you if you. I mean, I'm not saying I don't say this, but like if someone were to say the word transsexual, they would probably try to cancel you. But then they come out and use words like retarded. Xanderhal is basically Vosh. If he didn't have anything to say about socialism, spent half his time talking about drama, trans rights. I mean, if you guys think that this is an exaggeration about the whole trans rights woo thing, if you think
hello everyone. It's
if you think I'm exaggerating, then I'm clearly not. Debating a Long Beach Griffey fan, are trans people mentally ill? The DSM-5. Long Beach Griffey, a black comedian from Long Beach, California. This is like the height of being a chaser right here. Debate another anarchist brother shit's generally entertaining. Whew. I don't even know who. I mean, I've met some good anarchists.
Out like crazy.
Yeah, we can reschedule.
Wait, you sound good. Okay, let's say next time you cut out, we can like we'll persevere.
All right.
I think my main issue.
I'm almost definitely gonna cut out again though, to be honest.
Okay. Okay. So my main issue is it seems like you're overestimating how badly the DNC wants to win, or the Democrats in general want to win.
I think that there's two fundamental elements to politics. One is trying to get power, and the other is to represent your corporate.
Yes, they're individuals. They're individuals.
So I think that I do want to win.
There are individuals in the Democratic Party that definitely have interest in a Democrat being in power and winning. I completely agree with that. The problem is, Reaper's can one-shot your CMOS, so just pop out and stasis rifle them, because I have no idea what the fuck a Reaper is. You know, so I understand what you're saying. Power is part of politics, and there are individuals in the Democratic Party that want to win. But as a whole, the Democratic establishment, like if we just take all of these people and we take their power just combined, do not really have.
No way, he made a reaction to the playing men. I can't. I mean, Mexi is just, I don't know. I asked for a quick rundown on Mexi, and from what I see, it's kind of a meme, but I guess Oh, I guess I'll watch it. Um, yeah, like I'm not really interested in debating anarchists who aren't really sectarian. Like ultimately, I'm for just a common. I'm for another peace, land, and bread. I'm not like I know I can be. So Zoomer Nation is arguing for Bernie or bust, basically, not voting for Joe Biden. But anyway, let's just move on.
Have that much of an interest in beating Trump. Not enough, at least,
So
to make the case.
the reason why many Democrats want to take corporate money is because they think being subservient to corporations is what electorally benefits them the most. So them not getting the vote and the benefit of winning from corporate money, that will benefit them.
Wait, you cut out.
Shifted the whole Labour Party to some degree or another.
Sorry, what'd you say you cut out?
Okay, so you look at the Labour Party in the UK, like them getting Jeremy Corbyn, suddenly the whole party shifted significantly to the left because they want to get votes, and if that's what the people want, and the corporate interests are kicked out, then fundamentally that's what's going to happen. They're just going along with the winds of politics.
Did the Labour Party get crushed?
Right, but that's irrelevant because we're talking about whether or not the establishment wants to win, and the establishment in the Labour Party used to the left with Jeremy Corbyn.
Wait, no, it didn't. Oh my God, didn't you see that fucking?
Yes, you're right.
Wait, no, it was that leak about where they were literally plotting to.
Right.
Yeah.
So I'm going to interject real quick. There was a leak, but in 2017, I think that was the year when Jeremy Corbyn won. Overall, a significant amount of people in the Labour Party moved. Now there were specific officials within the Labour Party, according to that recent leak, that did try to.
Oh yeah, by the way, because of Jeremy Corbyn, there is a significant growth of the Labour Party. There is a huge, significant growth of the Labour Party. Mexi at least understands Marxism to an extent. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not gonna pretend to be a Mexi historian or whatever.
Betray him and backstab him, and that's true. That Democratic Party, but overall, there's still going to be some degree of a shift.
That wasn't just like some people; those were like some of the most powerful MPs in the party. They were literally admitting that they would prefer that the Tories won to having Corbyn in power.
So okay, but like there's still plenty of people in the Labour Party that would force him to move to the left.
Sure, I don't disagree with that. The problem is this is a perfect example of how like these parties don't really care about winning as much as they care about keeping up appearances and individuals staying in power by virtue signaling their progressive views and occasionally capitulating to progressives in this country.
Okay, so if they refuse to vote mentally.
Wait, you're cutting out again. Wait, really quick, you're cutting out again. Let me read this down and hopefully you'll be good after I read, okay? Yes, give me a second. Slothos, thank you for the $20. I really appreciate it. It's very, very generous of you. Previously...
Talk about privileged. Talk about privileged. Oh, you want to have a conversation with me? Oh, hold on. You want to have a conversation? You want to have a conversation with me? You stupid pleb. You can't even afford proper internet? Get out of here. You know what serf stands for? It's Latin for slave. That's what you are. Get some better internet, okay? Like talk about privilege, folks.
So went down the alt-right stuff, the alt-right stuff. Had some friends break me out, leading to both the fifth column and Contra. Now I mostly recognize how dumb I am, and I'm really confused. Slothos, hopefully you enjoy my streams because I try my best to cover that stuff. But I don't think you were dumb. You were just sort of
Mexi is a PhD? I didn't know that. What's her PhD in? I'm gonna have to read her dissertation as I usually do on these lowly nights. Just reading people's dissertations. Vosh was super salty when talking to Mex today. Kept saying he's going to be the biggest left tuber in 6 months to flex and make himself feel better. Mutual aid is when you pay... Oh, Zoomer's here, what's up? Mutual aid is when you give streamers $20 so that they say your name.
Sort of gotcha. You know, like there's a very effective pipeline to the alt-right that exists online. So I'm glad I was that you know, Contra and both the column and everyone were able to get you out. I really do appreciate it. Save your info from the okay. Okay, sorry, what were you saying?
Yeah, so you orient their if or something.
Oh yeah, Zoomer, by the way, I don't want you in my stream if you can't afford proper internet. You pleb. I don't need you here. I need to count my donations. That's a Discord, or that's a Steam chat, not a super chat.
Contingent refuse. So like even if I were to acknowledge that Labour Party, that stabbed him back in 2019 according to the leak reports, I'd still say the point stands about them wanting to get elected and getting power.
Well, like I said, I agree that there's some individuals in the party that are like, yeah, we want to get elected, we want to make actual change, or we just at least want to be in power. But it's relative, as you said before, right? They would rather lose to Trump. And mind you, we're talking about the Labour Party in the UK, where, I mean, to be fair, Europe has a much more left-shifted Overton window than America. I don't think the DNC is much further right, I wouldn't say much further, quite a bit further right than the Labour Party is. So, like, we have to account for that.
So even the Democrats who would, like, behind the back, try to stab Bernie in the back, even those Democrats are going to try to showcase in optics being pro-Bernie, right? The same way how in the Labour Party, it was these hidden leaks that revealed all this information. So they were still trying to portray themselves as pro-Corbyn outside, to be with the party union.
How many people in the Democratic Party okay, if that kind of shady shit, what does that work? If that kind of shady shit was happening behind the scenes in the Labour Party, what kind of shit's happening behind the scenes in the DNC, do you think? Do you think that maybe there's people that are like, oh yeah, we don't want Biden winning, we want Trump to win? Do you think it's possible? What the fuck?
Reschedule this if you want. Like I get like chunk.
Yeah, no, it's like, I'll finish. I'll pause the game while we talk. No, I get what you're saying. That some people in the Democratic Party want to win, but they've pretty clearly displayed they care more about winning, or they care more about They care more about their best interests as people, as millionaires, or wealthy people being furthered, than they do care about like a progressive being in office. They don't really gain all that much from having a Democratic president. The DNC already have their jobs, already making their money. Sure, they have a few ideas, a few ideological differences with Trump, but they don't really suffer much from being from Trump being president.
Most corporate money goes through PACs, which help get these Democratic politicians elected, and many of them think that being subservient and implementing and calibrating policy for the implications is what best serves them politically. And so when you look at the overall wages of people in the Senate and Congress and their role conditions, it's mostly about that power and retaining your seat. That's the primary driver. And many of the people, if you look at the specifics of the leak report from the Labor Party, they thought that Corbyn had no chance. He was going to get destroyed. That's some of the rhetoric you saw. Not rhetoric, but some ideological.
Yeah, you cut out again.
We need to get to the juicy part, people. I'm in the mood to be called retarded by Xander.
So I really don't agree. The full-on fascist will be created by 4 more years of neoliberal policy, or 8 more years of neoliberal policy.
Potentially, yeah, 8 more years. And I mean, Trump opened the doorway, right? Like, he normalized a lot of shitty things, like fear-mongered about immigrants invading, in rhetoric that, like, and we've never seen in a while, like trying to equate the alt-right with Antifa protesters in 2017, so on and so forth. I feel like that's really enabling the fascism.
I don't disagree, but allowing Trump to stay in power for longer doesn't solve that.
Yeah, but if there's 4 more years of Trump, you're getting this potential for the left to take over then, as opposed to 8 more years of Biden, where
no,
you have like
I don't. And all that. And they're like, if 4 more years of Trump could literally get me killed. Like, I don't want to. Over after 4 more years of Trump. Have you seen like? Okay, so for starters, I've got like a ton of people in my chat that like trans and black and all that. And they're like, if 4 more years of Trump could literally get me killed.
4 more years of Trump could literally get me killed. Folks, Donald J. Trump has sent out a death squad, an anti-black and transgender death squad that is currently murdering people who are black and transgender who step out of their house. What we need is to have a real civil rights advocate like Joe Biden come into power. She has a PhD in human geography, political ecology, focusing on... See, this is the thing. Why do people always get these weird PhDs? Like, most people on the internet that I've met that have a PhD is in some weird social science, focusing on the intersections between political economy and global environmental governments. She's a radical anti-capitalist. That's pretty interesting, but why do they get the most weirdest PhDs? Ever think you discuss the imperialism and colonialism still going on in, say, my home country, born in Quinn, aka Puerto Rico? Think it'd be dope to have someone who is an actual leftist to discuss. I mean, I'm down. I honestly don't know too much about the history of Puerto Rico. Trump is not the problem. Trump is a symptom of the problem. The main problem with the most serious anarchists is not understanding the Vanguard Party. I'm too poor for quality internet. Guess I can't be in breadtube now. You're just a stupid pleb, Zoomer. Like, you just need to get better internet. You need to get a microphone. You need to have gaming lights on your computer. Otherwise, you can't be a leftist. I'm sorry.
Like, I don't want to, obviously, yes. But what I feel is important to point out is that this is the first 4 years of Trump. We are at the end of Trump's first 4 years. He's still, and the way that he's been acting, and he still has to worry about getting elected for a second term. How do you think 4 more years of Trump is going to be when he doesn't care about getting a second term? When he doesn't worry about getting reelected?
So we need to put these into relative terms, right? So like Trump is a proto-fascist. So like what a proto-fascist? Like an actual fascist. I mean, you have years of Biden. You think that those neoliberal economic policies aren't going to create a phenomenon that could cause massive amounts of damage to marginalized communities at a perhaps incomprehensible level?
Give me a second.
What is he doing?
Wait, where did Trump say that he wants to run for a third term?
I didn't say he wanted to run for a third term.
No, somebody in chat said, he said so himself, who would stop him? Oh yeah, Trump said like, if I want to run for a third term, who would stop me? No, he can't run for a third term. But the problem is, Trump is, in his first term, already been impeached by the House. He has banned trans people from the military. He said, like, we can just go down the list of terrible shit that Trump has done, like, within the last 4 years. I feel like a lot of us forget about it. The problem that
Antidepressants, yeah. I'd be down. I'd be down to talk to you, yeah. I'd be down to talk about the labor theory of value. But I'm doing computer science because I'm a developer. My life makes no sense. Sociology isn't worth it. Trades in STEM. Don't go into STEM, please. Don't. Okay. Avoid STEM at all costs, please.
It's awful. But also understand, before Trump, what happened? 3 million illegal immigrants got deported under Obama. So many of them were
I don't care about Obama. We're talking about Trump right now.
But that's relevant if we're trying to be relative here and understand.
Okay, Trump has deported about, from the chart, the data that I saw, Trump has deported about as many immigrants so far in his first 4 years as Obama did in his entire 8-year term.
Right. So Democrats
are
like worse. What I'm saying, no,
Democrats are by far better than Republicans.
No, yeah, absolutely. But I'm saying we have to take into consideration both the future of what worse can happen, and also how much bad compared to the two. Obviously, the Republicans also got to understand the damage that both parties could cause and why we need sort of binary structure and move.
So are you advocating for accelerationism?
Absolutely not. I'm advocating for creating a stronger left against potential fascist forces that can hurt marginalized communities.
No, I'm asking you what. Do you want Trump? Are you advocating for Trump to have 4 more years of presidency?
I'm advocating for neither, to be honest.
One of them is going to become president. It's either Biden or Trump. Are you advocating for Trump to become president for 4 more years? Is that what we were banking on?
So No, so I'm advocating for like they're both equally bad, and I don't know which one will eventually lead to a worse outcome. That's why I said
They are
potentially
not
a
equally
proto-
bad. Can we actually let's argue that? You think that Biden and Trump are equally bad?
No, I think the consequences ultimately in the long term could be equally bad, and I don't know which one will lead to worse consequences because I can't look ahead enough. So I think that when I look at this and analyze, I think that the best position to take the position.
All right, let's try to get to the good part.
For whoever ends up winning. If Trump ends up, I'm sorry, that's how it is. If you advocate for not
Equally damaging beyond the presidency.
yeah, sorry. Wait, what you're there's like a bunch of like burn your busters in YouTube chat. Can we get them on there? Start fucking eating them. Yeah, sorry.
Let's listen to this. Let's listen to this for a second.
Can we get a mod in there? Start. There's like a bunch of like burn your busters in YouTube chat. Can we get a mod in there? Start fucking eating them.
There's a lot of people who disagree with me in the chat. Can I get a mod in here to ban them? Can I get a squad, a legion, a centurion to come into my chat and eliminate these people who disagree with me? Very general opinion on immigration. I mean, in general, right now it's been very, very harmful to the bottom sectors of society, but that's mainly just due to globalism. Okay.
Yeah, sorry. Wait, what were you saying?
Wait, why are you gonna eat them? Come on.
Eat them? Yeah, because they're being stupid.
Okay, whatever.
Yeah, no, I
Bogdanov is great. Bogdanov is fantastic.
think burning your busters, to be honest with you, are like worth like excising from my community. Like I care too much about minorities to allow another 4 more years of Trump. It's literally like I don't understand why you guys why do you guys think that 4 more years of Trump is going to help the left in America? Like I don't feel like accelerating into fascism is how we're going to solve this. We have to bide our time. We're biding our time.
Do you recognize that Trump is a proto-fascist? And
Trump is a fascist. He's not a proto-fascist. He's a full-on fascist.
Okay,
If he was allowed to hands off, do whatever he wanted, we would. I don't think you realize like how bad he is.
So, it's debatable. Like, for example, let's name a few policies. The First Step Act, giving some marginalized communities more power to get out of prison. I wouldn't say a typical fascist would implement that. Now, you can make the debate about whether or not he's a fascist, but it's clear that if he was a fascist, there's way worse, the potential for significantly worse things to take power.
Sure, Trump is literally Hitler. I agree with that.
Well, not just Hitler. He's not even Mussolini. He's not even like Franco. I don't know what fascist we compare him to. Nobody. Like, I can't think of a single fascist that's worse than, that's better than.
Okay. Do you know what the definition of fascism is?
Yeah, there's multiple components. It's far right authoritarian, but that's a very superficial definition.
Sure.
Restoring Trump, way deeper.
Like if you bring up the list of like.
And this is the funniest part. Trump is a fascist, but Biden isn't. I mean, this is literally like the red tribe, blue tribe thing I talked about. Trump is a fascist, but Biden isn't. Alright, we got 110, we got 45 people we boofing.
Like the checkbox, like Trump ticks most of the check boxes when it comes to fascism.
But there's some
like unironic Trump derangement syndrome.
Very critical elements of fascism, like that are codified into most fascistic people. Like it is more of a minute detail whether or not he's a proto-fascist or fascist. I'll give you, but we do need to look into the future trajectory.
Sorry, what do you say?
Oh, I said it is a bit of a minute detail whether or not he's a fascist or a.
I mean, it doesn't matter as much. I understand the argument that you're making is like that. Okay, can I try restating your argument in a way that like makes a bit more sense, and you can just interrupt me if I'm misrepresenting it?
Sure.
Okay, so you think that 4 years of Obama, or 8 years of Obama, of like neoliberal establishment being in place, led to the disillusionment of a lot of voters, and this led to Trump, a proto-fascist, to taking power because fascism usually takes advantage of people who feel disillusioned and disaffected.
Yeah, far right authoritarian.
Far right authoritarian. Yeah. And so you believe that electing Biden could lead to 4 to 8 more years of neoliberal politics, which could lead to a worse Trump down the line. That is your argument?
Almost. I think that Biden getting crushed or like getting defeated would be such an embarrassment, and I think it would enable in 4 years for a more progressive left to take power. That would be the added component. Because Trump is a proto-fascist. He enabled way worse fascists to take power, and this is a very slippery and dangerous historical period we're in. So we need to be very meticulous and careful with the decisions that we.
We got Tankies in YouTube chat. Give me a second. The fucking like psychotic leftism today guy that Bosch debated is in YouTube.
Leftism today. Yeah, I think he made a response video to you.
Oh my god! Did you just hear that, guys? I'm breaking down. He said my name. He said my name. He mentioned me on stream in front of his audience.
Retarded.
Leftism today. Yeah, I think he made.
Psychotic leftism today. We got Tankies in YouTube chat. Give me a second. The fucking like psychotic leftism today guy that Bosch debated is in YouTube
Leftism
chat.
today.
Yeah,
I think he made a response video to you.
He sounds kind of retarded. Bosch debated him, and he sounded like he was fucking crazy. Probably don't want him being in my community, so probably a good idea to.
Guys, I am literally famous. I am famous. But you know, Xanderhal, when I go to sleep at night and I'm staring at the ceiling and I'm contemplating all of my deepest problems, there's only one real thing that allows me to pass into deep sleep. And that is thinking about Xanderhal calling me a retard. There's nothing more therapeutic than Xanderhal calling me a retard. Honestly, it speaks for itself. No amount of irony, no amount of sarcasm can really
I think he has
attest
some
for this.
meaningful discourse. I think you could keep him.
No, he's cringe posting in chat. He's a tanky.
Okay.
Is he like a tanky or a class reductionist or something? I don't remember exactly. Yeah, Cindy, go ahead and mute the tankies and whatnot from chat.
Is he a tanky? Is he a class reductionist? Is he a brown white supremacist? Is he... I'm glad Vosh brushes him off as nothing. Oh, I mean, you know what this guy did, right? Like, you literally know what this guy did. Like, he read the title of Vosh now, but I hope you enjoyed it. Let's just see what he has to say before my channel gets deleted, though.
What do you mean by tankies? Are you referring to like fellow traveler, leftism today, those people?
Yeah. No, Bernier
So,
Busters
like,
aren't capable of having like meaningful discourse. I should clarify. Like there's too much emotion in the argument. Like I'm sorry, but I'm not like under the impression that like 4 more years or 8 more years of Biden is going to lead to a worse Trump. I don't know like how aware you are of like the political the past of elections in America, but it's pretty common like the pendulum swings back and forth. Trump was pretty inevitable.
I can give you an example. Sure, 4 to 8 years of Bush helped create the Obama resurgence, and many thought he'd be a mouse.
Exactly.
But the perception isn't really relevant. Come on,
the problem is
isn't really relevant.
Sure, but I feel like things are pretty different this time around when
owned by Mossad.
When it comes to this like a swing, populism is more powerful.
Wasn't your original assertion that we don't look at history?
And the funniest thing was I actually clicked on images.
But now you're moving to this is different this time around. Like I'm not trying to get you in a gotcha. I'm just curious, like
what?
How you like? Didn't you originally say like Bernier Busters don't understand their American history or something like that? Or did I misrepresent? I'm sorry.
No, I've never even insinuated that. There's like a shit ton of tankies in chat, like saying tankies don't exist. Yeah, sorry. No, I never said that. No.
Okay, I thought you said that Bernier Busters lack.
No, I never said that. I said they're too emotionally compromised.
Sorry.
No, I understand. We've already talked about how like neoliberalism leads to more Trump, right? I totally get that. That's fine. The problem is
this is hilarious. Even his own chat is calling him out. Band people I disagree with. We got Tom Hill, the OG. We got Traveler. You can edit those couple seconds out. You'll be alright. I'll just have to download and render a 1 hour 16 no snitches. See, this is how the FBI was gonna get me, okay? They got Huey Newton with crack, okay? They got Fred Hampton with internal BPP drama. They're gonna get me with the shower cam Google Images search. This is how the FBI is going to take me down.
Or leads to fascism, whatever. The problem that I have is I don't think biting the bullet with 4 more years of Trump is the solution, and I'm not fully on board with the idea that 4 more years of Biden is going to lead to a worse Trump. And I also think that even if it possibly could, populism is... Can I finish this first?
Sure.
Yeah, populism is more popular now, or populism is...
when is the when is the Xanderhal shower cam set up? I'm gonna get all the angles. Okay, I'm gonna get all the angles in the Xanderhal shower cam. I'm gonna get a Dutch angle. I'm gonna get the upskirt position. It'll be coming out soon. IMAX, be there.
Is bigger now than it's been in like a
Xanderhal
century in this
boy.
country. The only reason why we didn't see a push towards fascism during World War II is because we were fighting the Nazis, right? I feel like now with like Bernie getting really popular and the younger generation being further left than ever, I don't feel like after the
I need to stop boofing on the stream.
boomers die out in the next 4 to 8 years, we're going to have like Trump lost the popular vote last time around 4 years ago. I don't feel like we're going to see another Trump if we do a good enough job of advocating for progressive positions.
Do you really think the next Republican is going to be to the left of Trump? Like, I find that very unlikely. Trump set the precedent, and now people are going to move to the radical end of the right. So I think that to presume that in 4 years after Biden or 8 years after Biden, we're not going to get a more radical fascistic force, I think that's a bit of a naive. Like you said, it's a new era.
Yeah, what is it with Xanderthal? I'm mentioning his mom like every 5 minutes.
Populism, and populism is what sticks. And you're seeing the white nationalists, gain some degree of traction. Perhaps it's still the neoconservatives that have the most power, but I can definitely see this dangerous phenomenon coming in the right if we continue with neoliberal status quo policy.
Can you repeat that? There's like jets in chat. Sorry, what did you say?
Right. So, do you really think the Republican Party would move to the left in the next election, or do you think
I don't think we would move to the left? They'd probably pick somebody who's like not as.
Bro, look at how much he's seething. Look at how much he's seething that like a couple people like Nudity and me and whoever is in there in Pinhead. Like, look at how much he's seething.
As much of a buffoon and not as insane as Trump, because Trump is kind of Trump doesn't make them look very good.
Don't you think there's going to be
middle throaters?
Don't you think that there's going to be people trying to emulate what Trump did in 2016? And don't you think that's going to continue to rhetorically have appeal to working people? Perhaps they're going to become even more radical.
Probably not after this election. I honestly think I used to think that Biden was going to get blown the fuck out. I think Biden's probably going to win. Trump has been like unbelievably bad.
You
the average person.
You really think Biden's going to win?
Yeah, probably. I used to think that he wouldn't, but I think he's probably going to win.
I don't think so. I don't think he can articulate one sentence very well. I think it's too bad optically to defeat Trump. I don't know. Like, he's done a really bad job butchering the COVID-19 response, so I think it's either way. But yeah.
I mean, I don't know. I just think that like the Democrats are in a really good position right now with how bad Trump is. They've been virtue signaling for a while. I feel like they're in a really good position to do it now.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know. I think Biden's going to win, probably going to win. But I don't want to like risk it, right? My main issue is there's a lot of people that like their rights are on the line with 4 more years of Trump. Trump has already banned trans people from the military in his first term, and he still has to worry about getting reelected. What do you think Trump's going to do in his second term?
Yeah, that is definitely concerning. But what do you think is going to happen next after Trump?
Trump has already banned trans people from the right to carpet bomb children in Asian, West Asian, and African countries. Like, this dude, literally Hitler. Modern COINTELPRO. I mean, Caleb said that like he. It's funny if you listen to Caleb on Iron Curtain. He basically calls Vosh COINTELPRO. I can't wait for that conversation. Honestly, if my channel doesn't get, he does seem like a chaser. Honestly, I wouldn't be surprised. At this point, I wouldn't be surprised. If my channel doesn't get deleted, then I'll definitely look at that.
Trump. I think more radical conservatives are going to take power. Even worse.
I don't even care. I care about what's going to happen now. The minorities are going to be hurt now. We can worry about the future. We cannot. I don't think it is something that we can do. That we can say this will happen because we do this. I don't think we can appropriately say that we're going to get. I don't think we can appropriately say that 4 more years of Biden is going to result in a worse Trump. I don't think we can really make that assertion.
Yeah, potentially 4, maybe 8 years of Biden. I think
I can't. I don't think I can agree with that. I don't feel like we can accurately make that assertion.
This debate's largely predicated upon hypotheticals. Like we're assuming.
No, it's not hypothetical. 100%. Trans people will die and lose their rights more under term 2 of Trump, and they will lose under two terms of Biden.
It is hypothetical to postulate that 8 more years of Biden overall is going to be better for marginalized communities because we need a strong left opposition to the right to protect these marginalized communities. Neoliberalism won't cut it, so we need to try to cause damage to the establishment, not literally in a larky sense, but in a.
No, the way we cause damage to the establishment is by encouraging leftists to infiltrate it. We don't hurt them by voting for them. We infiltrate them with other leftists.
You do realize they're counting on our votes, right? They
don't care.
I'm not exactly sure when they're going to debate. I just hope that Caleb doesn't go full CCP. Dang, did nothing wrong. I brought it up first to Danky King. When Vosh goes to spine, never. I mean, actually, I think they talked about it. It was a tweet. Yeah, they actually talked about it. They're getting a moderator and whatever. So, yeah, they haven't given a date. I don't know. I mean, when I debated Vosh, it took like over a month to get on his stream. So Vosh is a very busy person.
They don't. Okay, I don't buy into this idea that they care so much. We've already seen significant evidence that they're willing to just fucking yeet Jeremy Corbyn because he's too far left. They're willing to lose to fascists instead of have a progressive be in power. We've seen that they took Biden over Bernie, even though Bernie seemed to have better chances in the polling than I've seen.
Okay, so the polling I saw made it seem as though Biden and Bernie had about similar aggregate polling, and Biden agreed more to ideologies.
At least his More trans drone pilots. More trans AC-130 pilots.
I can see how 2 and 2, you put that together, they choose Biden over Bernie. And I already addressed somewhat the Jeremy Corbyn point, although I agree with you that you brought up the leaked reports, so that makes sense.
Okay, so what we're, so
I
this
will
is,
say
can
that-
I narrow this down really fast? So we're arguing over 4 more years of Trump, which will 100% without a doubt result in terrible shit, fascists continuing to be in power, and potentially, possibly, maybe 4 to 8 more years, 4 to 8.
Hardlens Media? Never heard. Google, don't fail me this time. Hardlens Media. Why didn't you tell Vosh to shut the fuck up when he started man-childing? Because I am a professional, okay? I am a professional gamer, and professional gamers do not use explicit words. What's Hard Lens Media? I don't know what this is. Alright. Oh.
8 years of Biden might maybe potentially if things stay the same, or might I don't think it's almost certainly. No, I don't.
You think you think I can get away with uploading this and just keeping it? Cause YouTube automatically uploads the stream. The thing is I would have to go to YouTube, download it, edit that 3-second part out, render it, and then upload it again. Alright, I guess I will.
It understands a populist era, but populist fascism is
worst it's ever been.
I understand it is.
1920s.
Wait, what did you say? Repeat that again?
If I'm not mistaken, inequality is even worse potentially than it was in the 1920s.
What?
I can send you something. There's an analysis.
Wait, what the fuck? Wait, okay, no. They literally there was segregation was a thing back in the 1920s.
No, I said income inequality. Sorry.
Income. Okay, I thought you were about to say inequality. Okay, income inequality.
Yeah,
no,
sorry. If I meant like
that's the
equality,
outcome of failing capitalism. Yeah, I don't disagree with that. But the
Isn't
I don't think
fascism a
that
reaction? Isn't fascism a reaction?
fascism and socialism are both a reaction to the failures of capitalism and neoliberal politics.
So we won't have socialism versus fascism if it's Biden. We're gonna have neoliberalism versus fascism, and we're gonna get crushed. We're gonna get quelled.
Well, no, you do realize that. Thank you for the $5, Nathan Cameron. I appreciate it. Hashtag never cede power to the right. Yeah, and that is what you're advocating for here. Cede power to the right to beat the neolibs. But really quick, the problem that I'm taking here is this isn't an option, but you want to cede power to the right to beat the neolibs.
Well, not quite. Not in aggregate. It's the big picture that's relevant.
Well, that's what I'm talking about. The big picture here.
Yeah, the big picture I want the left to get.
The left will win if we keep Republicans out of power and radicalize people to the left while Democrats in power. You realize Bernie exploded into prominence during Obama's power, like during Obama's terms, right?
Right, because both socialism and fascism is a reaction to the failures of capitalism. But if we keep a neoliberal like Joe Biden, we're not gonna have that dichotomy. We're gonna have something totally worse.
No, we just radicalized people further to the left during Biden. So we.
No, just edit it. I can do it for you, bro. It's not that I can't edit, dude. It's just that the render time is like 50 minutes. Yeah. I don't want to finish classwork, so I may as well. Alright, the thing is, the way YouTube works is you end a stream, and then YouTube will automatically upload it. I don't have any more strikes on my channel, but alright, I guess I will. I can do it myself, Sparks. It's fine.
Left during the
people want stability. People want stability, right? So if the Democrats are going to, Democrats are going to be like, oh, we got 8 years of successful model.
Plenty of Dems are actually closer.
So they're not going to go to the social side. They're going to want to keep their electoral security. That's the primary reason the Democratic Party exists, loyalty to that party system.
So you think that if we allow a fascist to stay in power, then maybe we can elect somebody who's more left-leaning in the future?
No, somebody who's extremely to the left, who can actually fail the worst fascist.
How would that
Trump
work?
isn't even as bad as Tanar. Trump isn't even as bad as many leaders.
I don't care how Trump isn't as bad as. I don't care. We're talking about Biden and Trump. Which one is worse? That's what we're talking about. It's irrelevant. We're talking about America. We're talking about Biden and Trump.
Right, but I'm just telling you, it's relevant because I'm pointing to the potential of fascism, how they could have...
No, set to private and age restrictions on, then download and delete. Okay, yeah, I'll try that. Yeah, I don't know who Hard Lens Media is. Alright, with that, look folks, I know we've been here for an hour and 26 minutes, but the thing is this is just the beginning, because we have about 3 hours ahead of us of primary gaming ahead of us, okay? And I don't want you to miss it. Can you not edit on YouTube? No, YouTube is a platform that unfortunately is not able to be... You can't just edit on YouTube, it sucks. You have to download it, clip that part out, and then upload it again. He keeps referring to him as fascist because Republicans are fascists to him and all Democrats are just Obama to him. Alright. Why is STEM bad? Because STEM is extremely oversaturated. and extremely competitive. I wouldn't do STEM. Are you seriously going to respond to this full video? Yes, I'm absolutely going to sit here and watch 4 hours of Subnautica gameplay.
This all ties into what is called a parasocial relationship. Parasocial relationships.
Okay, a parasocial relationship stops being a parasocial. Okay, for starters, they didn't have a parasocial relationship with me.
Yes, his commentary is funny. I don't think you people understand. Whenever Xanderhal uploads, I enter into a slot and I look up into the sky. Bob Avakian agrees with Xan that Trump is a fascist. Bob Avakian is Jesus Christ. See, a lot of people think communism is the abolition of generalized commodity production, but I can assure you that this is what communism looks like. Okay. My heart is literally racing. I have no idea why. Don't remind me of Bob Avakian, please. Alright, I'll talk to you later. Yeah, I'm gonna get off anyway. I have this weird thing where I can't go to sleep unless I know 100% for sure that a video is like completely ready to be shown. So I'm probably gonna end up downloading this right now and then re-uploading it. Alright, that's about it. I'll see you guys later. Why do you have a folder tiled? What the fuck? No, I don't. Are you kidding? No, I don't. Where? Did you actually just troll me? When are you streaming again? I don't know. I kind of stream randomly. I mean, I have a Discord, by the way. If anyone wants to add me on Discord, if anyone wants to add me on Discord, I'll post my Discord. 17 minutes behind the live stream. Leftism today, living rent free in Zan's head. Alright, I'll see you later. I'm gonna post this Discord really quick in case anyone wants to talk to me. Because, believe it or not, even someone who is as intellectually gifted as me sometimes gets. Okay, that's my Discord. Feel free to add me if you want. And that's about it. Alright, see you guys.